but very impartial tonight. Winner will get number 2 Chico State as the ball is thrown away by Brianna Terrence. Again, Terrence, the All-CCA first-team selection. First Cal State East Bay player to receive that honor in the entire athletic program history. And driving to the basket and scoring again is Micah Walker. And Walker has scored twice on the exact same play.
Yeah, it looks like East Bay's Dominguez is having a really tough time guarding the pick on ball right now.
Dominguez Hills 7, East Bay 6. Amber Wharton for 3. No.
There's that tricky NBA three-point line again. That's messed up Cal State LA a couple times in the earlier game.
Danielle Pecan, 6'2 junior center from Reno, Nevada, with the rebound for Cal State East Bay. Rachel Finnegan looking to give the ball to Walker, now into Pecan. Pecan, a little hook shot. And Cal State East Bay has the lead at 8-7 with 15:05.
You can't defend that. That was a great shot by Pecan. Her length and size is unlike anything else in the CCA, and she's a load.
Little 18-4 run here by Cal State East Bay. Monet Lee for 3, hits the bracket and then bounces over the backboard. And there's going to be a timeout on the floor. 14:46 to play in the first half with the score. The Cal State Dominguez Hills Toros 7 and the Cal State East Bay Pioneers 8, as Cal State East Bay has a 1-point lead. You're watching the 2014 CCA Conference Basketball Tournament live on Liquid Event TV. Already, Renee, we've seen an amazing game tonight as Cal State Los Angeles came back to beat UC San Diego. Granted, it was a 5-4 matchup, but the 5 seed did beat the 4. We said at the top of the telecast in our last game, that's kind of a pick'em game. It could go either way, but when you realize that UC San Diego had a 21-point lead about 30 seconds before halftime, and then we're up by 18 at the break. It's just amazing how you can sometimes, as a team, lose that lead.
Yeah, I think it showed the resiliency of Cal State LA. For the San Diego team, Cal State LA, East Bay, and Dominguez, these are all winner-go-home games for them. They need to win the conference tournament to get into regionals at this point. It doesn't look like we could be sending 3 teams, maybe, but the deeper you go, the better, and you're going to have a tough matchup the next night against Pomona and Chico. So, I think in the end of that game, LA kind of, smelled blood in the water when San Diego missed some early shots, and really took advantage of it in the end.
One of the fun things about the CCA tournament, we see our counterparts from the other teams all kind of together, almost like a CCAA convention. And talking to Mike Baca, the radio play-by-play announcer for Chico State, and talking about that earlier game that we had tonight. And, he's had like 3 games this year with like 18-point leads in the second half, and the team that was losing, coming back to win.
Right. I think you're seeing a lot more parity in the CCA now. So teams are catching up to other teams, and everybody's just getting a lot better.
Cal State East Bay so far 4 of 5. Micah Walker with 4 points. The Toros 3 of 8, 38%. And leading the scorer there would be basically, 3 points by Taylor Champion, 2 by Wharton, and 2 by Lee. So it's 8-7 in favor of Cal State East Bay, 14-19 to go in the first half. Talk about the Stanford connection. You spent some time there. Molly Goodenbauer was a player there. Heidi Vanderveer.
She won a national championship there.
I think she won
as a
2.
freshman, I bet, yeah.
Yeah, I went. I don't know if she did this, but I think if I had 2 national championships and I was taking over a team, I'd put the 2 rings on the table and say, any questions?
Follow me, right?
Cal State East Bay still with that 1-point lead. Neither team scoring here for a while. 30-second shot clock down to 20-second. Now driving towards the basket. 1 hop by Brashears. The rebound cleared away by Simone Thompson for the Toros.
Dominguez Hill showing a little bit of zone right there. I think when Pacone's in, everybody tries to find different ways to guard her, and that seems to be one of the best ways for everybody.
In a 3-6 matchup, you would think that obviously the 3 seed, in this case Cal State Dominguez Hills, might have an easy time of it, but this is not your typical number 6 seed in Cal State East Bay.
No, definitely not. I don't think they're I think they're much better than a 6 seed. I think they lost some games late. Pacone got hurt. She hurt her elbow, so she missed about 4 or 5 games, and that definitely set them back, not having that inside presence.
Tori Brashear scores, the 5'10 sophomore forward from Gardena. She won a CIF Los Angeles City section girls basketball championship at the Toro Dome in Carson a couple years ago, so already kind of getting used to the CCAA. and actually, when she has come with Cal State East Bay to play at the Toro Dome, she has played very well there.
Oh, I'm sure. It's like home for her.
Yeah, she's out of Narbonne High School in Harbor City. And driving towards the basket, Talia Rayford.
It's going to be the one thing with Dominguez is Cal State East Bay is really going to have to get back in transition. They are extremely fast. They really try to shove the ball down your throat every time they can in transition. East Bay's going to have to sprint back and try to protect the paint.
Rayford, a 60% free throw shooter, misses the first one. Our Star Watch players tonight, Monet Lee averaging 15 points for Cal State Dominguez Hills. Taylor Champion averaging 13 points. And Talia Rayford scoring 11 points per game, and she misses both of them, 11-7. A 4-point lead for 7-11. Great numbers if you're in Las Vegas tonight. We're here at the Citizens Business Bank Arena in Ontario, California. Although not that far from Vegas. From here, we could probably be in
there in
Las
a few
Vegas.
hours.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe about 4 hours. 13-12 to play in the first half. Cal State East Bay 11, Cal State Dominguez Hills 7. Brianne Garcia with the basketball. Kicks it out to Rayford. Her shot comes off the rim, rebounded by Cal State Dominguez Hills. Coming down with it was Brashears.
Dominguez showing a zone, which is very different for them. There you go. That's what Pacone does. She's really going to pick you apart, make everybody around her better.
Rachel Finnegan with the basket, 5'8" senior guard from Turlock. And it's 13-7.
Big shot by Garcia there. That's what they needed.
Garcia's been having problems with her three-point shots the latter half of the season. But in the last regular season game, she finally connected. Lopez misses on a three-pointer. Rayford comes back the other direction. Again, Brianne Garcia. She's 5'2", but she plays like she's 5'9". From the corner, long shot by Kylie Wilson. Wilson gets her own rebound, gets it to Garcia. Garcia for three. And now it seems like she's found her touch again as she has 6 points. Timeout on the floor. 11:46 to play in the first half with the score. Cal State East Bay 13 and Cal State Dominguez Hills 13. You're watching the 2014 CCAA Conference Basketball Tournament live on Liquid Event TV.
Garcia's got it back, it looks like.
You know, it's kind of like a baseball player. You know, you can be in a slump and all of a sudden maybe take some extra batting practice or whatever. The next thing you know, you find your groove again. Maybe you find something in your batting stance. Same thing with a pitcher, release point, and probably the same thing in basketball.
Yeah, maybe the depth perception's helping her.
She, early on in the season, and I didn't really see the women's basketball team until January, but in those early conference games, start of the new year, she was basically shooting out the lights from the three-point range. And then she went through a point, at least in terms of home games, where she couldn't buy a bucket.
Yeah, I think sometimes, once Garcia's only a sophomore. She's playing a lot of minutes, being as young as she is. And I think sometimes late in the season, your legs start to give out if you're not taking care of them. And that could be one of those things.
Yeah, she's now on the season 20%, 15 of 74 coming in. Brianne Garcia, the 5'2" sophomore from Highland, went to Redlands High School, not too far from here. The Inland Empire area of Southern California. Beautiful day today. High forecast to be 75 degrees, 77 tomorrow, and 81 on Saturday. I have the SPF 50 already for the hotel pool. Back to action, both teams Again, in a 13-13 tie, 11 and a half minutes coming up here in the first half. Shot clock for the Pioneers, 12 seconds, down to 10 seconds. 7 seconds. Walker being guarded closely by Lee, missed the shot, there's a whistle.
Tough call. It's a great experience play by Michael Walker there to know that the shot clock's winding down and be able to just throw something up and actually draw the foul against Lee.
East Bay shooting 6 of 10 on the floor. 0 for 1 from behind the line and 1 and 1 at the free throw line. Speaking at the free throw line, Micah Walker. Already with 4 points.
Walker was the CCA Freshman of the Year 3 years ago. It's been really neat to see her kind of mature into a really talented player.
Out of Reed High School and again from Reno, Nevada. Second one doesn't go. So Walker 1 for 2 from the charity stripe, 5 points in the game. 3-point shot, speaking about not going. The attempt by Simone Thompson. Taylor Champion with the rebound for the Toros.
That was the number 22, Micah Walker, her second personal team third.
So Micah Walker gets called for her second personal foul, third team foul against Cal State East Bay. Scoreboard here at CBB Arena does not show fouls in terms of team fouls or individual fouls. So I have to kind of rely on the public address announcer, J.J. Gould, who's filling in. And by the way, if Patrick is listening tonight, hey, buddy, get well soon. He was scheduled to be the PA announcer this weekend, diagnosed with pneumonia 2 days ago.
Yikes.
And had to bow out. So, Patrick, if you're watching tonight, man, our thoughts are with you and hope you get well soon. Monet Lee at the free throw line, and that does not go, and it's 15-14. Cal State Dominguez Hills with a 1-point lead over Cal State East Bay, coming up fairly short amount of time on the midway point of the first half. 10:38 to play. 10 on the shot clock for the Pioneers. Now it's down to 7 seconds. Brianna Terrence, 3 seconds, 2 seconds. They feed it underneath to Brashears, but the 30-second shot clock buzzer sounds. Good defense by the Toros. That's something that Cal State Dominguez Hills has been able to execute the last couple of ball games. Maybe not last Friday night against your Cal State San Bernardino team. Very effective down the stretch last Saturday night in the last regular season game against UC San Diego. Again, 15-14, favor of the Toros by 1 point. Taylor Champion hits it for 3 and make it a 4-point lead at 18-14.
Champion's a really tough matchup. She can shoot the ball better than almost any kid in the conference right now, and then plays inside. Look at her going at it with Pacone in the paint.
2 trays for Champion and 6 points. Very nice job. Well, they call it Monet Lee, but it's actually Charissa Estremera.
Estremera's come off the bench late for them, especially when Pacone got into some foul trouble and really has given them a lift from the perimeter.
So it's 18-17. Amber Warden, an air ball on a 3-point attempt from long distance. A 1-point lead for the Toros over the Pioneers. Gone past the 10-minute mark, 9:37 until halftime. Even going back to the last game, maybe it's just my perception, but it seems like these games are going by very quickly.
They really are. I don't think coaches are calling, with the media timeouts, I don't think they're calling a lot of timeouts, so it's keeping this thing going.
In this particular case, we're the only broadcast for this game.
Dominguez's defense is fantastic right now. It's the best I've seen him play on the defensive end.
I mean, 18 minutes in real time, and we're down to 9 minutes until halftime. Driving towards the basket, off the glass. Shot missed by Lopez. Rebound Champion. Wharton in the front court. Gives the ball to Rayford. Now Champion has it. Champion launches the shot off the rim. Long rebound is picked up by Stephanie Lopez for Cal State East Bay.
Blocking foul against the Toros.
You gotta love that Garcia and how hard she plays on the defensive end, and if Coach Goodenbauer could get her to kind of channel that and be smart and kind of stay out of foul trouble, she's gonna be a tough little player.
We saw Cal State East Bay, 2 of the 3 games they played at the CCA tournament way back on Veterans Day weekend in Anaheim. And Cal State East Bay came to the Toro Dome in Carson on February 1st. I remember asking Susie Barkham, the head coach of Cal State East Bay, when did her team start to gel? And she says, I'm not sure they've gelled yet. They had a little bit of a problem down the stretch, but finally came with a really big win on the last night of the season, last Saturday night, to make it in the tournament.
Yeah, that's all that matters sometimes.
It's a young team, and they're just going to get better and better. Some of the other young teams in the conference. Not the buzzer, almost the buzzer anyway, with 1 second left. Rayford threw up a shot, did not go.
Great job by Terrence keeping them off the boards. It's one of those keys that we talked about, is keeping Dominguez off the O boards, not letting them get second chance opportunities.
8:04 to play in the half, 18-17 in favor of Cal State Dominguez Hills, but now the basket by Torrey Brashears.
That could possibly sit Lee down for the remainder of the second half. That's definitely her second foul.
Team 7th foul. At the line.
So that's 7. Free throw doesn't go. 19-18, Cal State East Bay over at Cal State Dominguez Hills. Yeah, when it comes to these two teams, you can throw out the 3 seed and the 6 seed. That means absolutely nothing between these two ball clubs.
Now all these teams could have shifted in spots. It could have ended up any which way.
Delia Rayford with a 3-point basket. They're going to say 2 points. So 21-19. Oh, 2-point lead. It was a 3-point basket.
Lee's got to be really careful here. She has 2 fouls.
Bashir's trying to get a shot off, and it's intercepted by McCorkle. Shamori McCorkle, a 5'11 junior forward from Orange. And there's a timeout on the floor. 7:25 to play in the first half. With the score, the number 6 seed, California State University East Bay Pioneers, 19. And the number 3 seed, California State University Dominguez Hills Toros, 21. You're watching the 2014 CCA Conference Basketball Tournament live on Liquid Event TV. And again, 21-19, Toros lead by 2 as the California State University Dominguez Hills dance team entertaining the fans here at Citizens Business Bank Arena. This is our last game tonight, but we hope you join us tomorrow starting at 12 noon with the men's semifinals. It'll be Cal State Stanislaus versus number 1 Cal State San Bernardino at 2:30. It'll be Chico State versus number 2 Cal Poly Pomona. Our buddy Mark Serber from Fox Sports International and Ray Dietz, former Villanova University basketball player, will have that game. And then tomorrow night at 5:30 and 8 o'clock, I'll have the play-by-play of the women's semifinals. It'll be Cal State LA versus the number 1 seed Cal Poly Pomona Broncos at 5:30. And then the winner of this game versus number 2 Chico State, 8 o'clock tomorrow night. Brian Fogel, the head coach of Chico State, is here to kind of scout both teams. And that actually brings up an interesting question, Renee, is the fact that if you're a team that you get that first round bye, you're here at the arena tonight, you've already played these teams twice during the regular season, what else do you think that you might be able to detect from watching them a third time here, kind of doing any kind of scouting?
I think the biggest thing right now is maybe you're trying to get a play call or two, but at this point it comes down to execution. You've seen these guys, you really know them like the back of your hand. You're not going to get a whole lot. Really, it's just to get your team in the stands and let them kind of feel how the crowd is. Get them comfortable with the arena so they know what to expect tomorrow night when Chico and Pomona step on the floor.
But as a coach, what else do you see perhaps by scouting them a third time?
I mean, there's just not a whole lot of adjustments. Everyone's going to do what they do. There's not a whole lot you can do from Saturday night to Thursday. You might see 1 or 2 new plays. But other than that, East Bay and Dominguez right now, they're running their same stuff. San Diego's going to do what they do. It's just going to come down to who's going to get stops and who's going to put the ball in the hole.
Well, just before play stopped, Brianne Garcia with a rebound for Cal State Dominguez Hills, and I think a foul against Torrey Brashears. First personal foul against Brashear, 6th team foul against Cal State East Bay, and that'll send Brianne Garcia already with 6 points unofficially to the free throw line. She makes the first one. That now gives her 7 points. So we're just checking the stats. So that is now officially now 8 points as she's 2 for 2. So Brianne Garcia with 8 of the 26 points for Cal State Dominguez Hills as the Toros have opened up a 26-19 lead over Cal State East Bay with 6:44 until halftime. Brashear is with the basketball, trying to feed it in right underneath the basket to Micah Walker, and the ball bounces out of bounds.
Coach Goodenbauer over there trying to get the traveling call, showing her dancing moves to Eric Thorne, one of the top officials in the CCA.
The last 7 minutes, the Toros are on a 19-8 run against the Pioneers. Molly Goodenbauer, the head coach of Cal State Dominguez Hills, her husband Pat Foscaldo, who's the men's basketball head coach at Sonoma State, here in attendance tonight.
One of the nicest men's coaches in the conference, actually. Great guy.
Stephanie Lopez at the free throw line makes the first one. That's Lopez's first free throw of the night.
Looks like maybe there was a violation there.
Okay, so they're going to say no. Toros with a 26-19 lead, 6:21 to go first half. 15 on the shot clock for the Toros. Wharton drives towards the basket and scores. Unofficially 5 points now for Amber Wharton. Bunch of interviews coming up for you at halftime. With Scott Chisholm, the Assistant Sports Information Director. And Steve Becker from Cal State Dominguez Hills will come by. And Renee and I will have the first half rundown. Oh, three-point basket by Talia Rayford.
Dominguez is really shooting the ball well tonight, and that's one of the ways you get East Bay to come out of their zone and make you match up, is you have to knock down open shots.
31-19, a 12-point lead, biggest of the ball game since the timeout when it was 13-13 tie. The Toros on an 18-6 run.
A little frustration out on the court right now with Terrence getting a little elbow into the head. A little foul.
A foul against the Pioneers here in the first half. Toros with the basketball and the 31-19 lead coming up on the 5-minute mark. 5 minutes left in the first half. Monet Lee out to Rayford, over in the near corner to Champion. Her shot off the rim, and the rebound grabbed by Rayford. And a 30-second reset on the shot clock for Cal State Dominguez Hills. Garcia short on a three-point.
I think Brushers might have got a tip on that one.
Troy Brashear is with the rebound. Coming into the front court, Michael Walker. I tell you, that 10-second line, the reinstatement of the old rule, really not really something we've seen a lot this year.
No, it hasn't. I don't think it's really affected the women's game very much. You know, maybe it makes you run your offense at a quicker pace. You know, I think people tried to press really early, and it wasn't to anyone's really advantage or disadvantage. So maybe late in the game when teams aren't expecting, it's nice to kind of throw it on. But I don't think it's had the effect that maybe people thought it would have.
And in case you're wondering what we're talking about, they reinstated the rule. If we have the ball in the backcourt, you have to get it past the midcourt line. Again, commonly called the 10-second line, within obviously 10 seconds. And I actually thought there would be a lot of pressing, at least in the games that I covered this year. I did not see a lot of that, except a couple of times, like you mentioned, Renee, late in the game when maybe the game was on the line. Garcia at the free throw line is perfect, 3 for 3, and 7 points in the first half, as the Toros have a 32-19 lead, 13-point advantage here with 4:24 until halftime. She gets the second one. So that gives her 10 in the first half. 2 3-pointers and 4 free throws from the charity stripe, and it's 33-19, 14-point lead. Off the glass, shot by Finnegan. Doesn't go, and Rayford coming up with the rebound for Cal State Dominguez Hills. Shamari McCorkle into the front court. Rayford with the basketball. Rayford, 5'6" junior guard from Inglewood. There's timeout on the floor. 3:48 to play in the first half with the score. The Cal State Dominguez Hills Toros 33 and the Cal State East Bay Pioneers 19. So 20-6. Cal State Dominguez Hills has outscored Cal State East Bay after both teams were tied 13-13 at about the 11:45 mark here in the first half. And we're coming up on the 3:45 mark right after this timeout. So in an 8-minute period, 20-6 will do a lot for you on the scoreboard, Renee.
Yeah, I think Dominguez is being extremely aggressive offensively. They're really doing a nice job getting to the free throw line. And they've hit some big threes, maybe 3 or 4 threes at this point. And that's what we talked about, is getting East Bay out of that zone and making them match up to you. They don't like to defend, so they want to sit in that zone. That's their bread and butter. So we'll see if Dominguez can keep this up, keep making some outside shots from the perimeter.
Coming up at halftime, we'll have some halftime interviews. Scott Chisholm, the Assistant Sports Information Director at Cal State East Bay, will join us. Steve Becker will work with Mark Serber on the men's bracket first round earlier today. He'll stop by and chat as well, and some other folks as well. Renee and I will have the first half stats and a lot more, all coming up at halftime here from Ontario. 4 seconds on the shot clock for the Toros. Monet Lee, 1 second, and the 30-second shot clock buzzer will sound. Starting to get to be late. Can't move the mouth quite as easily as I could earlier today. 33-19. 3-point shot by Brashears, rebounded by Monet Lee. Lee, quick down-court pass to Kylan Wilson. Cal State East Bay doing a great job coming back in the transition on defense. 15 seconds to shoot. Garcia trying to get the ball into McCorkle.
15 seconds on the shot clock.
5 points by Brashears, 5 points by Walker, 10 points by Garcia for Cal State Dominguez Hills, 7 by Amber Wart, and 6 by Taylor Champion. So right now, Brianne Garcia, the only player in double figures. 8 on the shot clock. Garcia trying to drive, but somebody, I think it was Rachel Finnegan from behind, got a hand on the basketball to kind of knock it away from Garcia's.
2 seconds on the shot clock, so let's see if Dominguez can get a nice bucket here.
The Toros have had some problems being aware of how much time is left on the shot clock the last couple of games.
Play.
But no problem there, even though both attempts by Kylan Wilson did not go through the hoop. Kylan Wilson, a 5'9", redshirt sophomore forward from Los Angeles. Wilson out of King Drew High School. Full name is King Drew Magnet High School. 33-19, Cal State Dominguez Hills leading Cal State East Bay. 2.5 minutes remaining in the first half. 3-point basket, good by Charissa Estremera.
Estremera's really come up big. Again, wasn't playing a whole lot early in the season, but looks to be a big 3-point shooter here. And Pacone's probably one of the best bigs I've ever seen play in the CCA.
Wharton for 3 with an air ball. Estremera now with 2 trays for the Pioneers, 6 points. 2:10 to go, 33-22. Kylan Wilson comes out of the ball game. Shamari McCorkle comes in for the Toros. Cal State East Bay, formerly Cal State Hayward. We also have campuses in Concord and Oakland. Pecan turnaround for Shears with the rebound.
It's a big O board for East Bay. Dominguez is killing him on the boards right now, 18-8.
And a 30-second reset on the shot clock as well. 33-22. Toros lead the Pioneers by 11 points. Minute 36. And trying to drive on the baseline, stepped out of bounds. Yeah, those rebounds can have a huge effect.
Absolutely. It's important that East Bay keeps Dominguez off the O boards and gets some of their own on the other end.
And those 18 rebounds for the Toros is not like one particular player. Those are sprinkled throughout the entire lineup of Cal State Dominguez Hills players who have seen action on the floor so far tonight.
Dominguez by far rebounds by committee better than anybody in the CCA.
Oh, Pecan swatting away and a block shot. Acting like a point guard, bringing the ball into the front court. Pecan, a 6'2 junior center from Reno, Nevada. You'll see a lot of 6'2 people dribbling the ball into the front court in the CCAA.
Pecan is a different player than we've seen in the CCA for a long time. You know, she was a Big West Freshman of the Year at UOP as a freshman, went to Mount Sac for a couple years, and you can tell she's a little bit tired right now, having sat out a few games, but just her presence out there really helps East Bay.
12 on the shot clock out of possible 30 seconds for Cal State Dominguez Hills. Now down to 7 seconds, 5 seconds. Taylor Champion, turnaround shot. Champion will draw the foul.
That's on Pecan. See what the foul's on. It's her third personal. That's a tough blow to East Bay.
Pecan?
Yes.
We have 31.8 seconds remaining here in the first half. Taylor Champion at the free throw line. It's her first free throw of the night. And she makes that one.
For the Pioneers, Remy.
That's now 7 points as she had 2 3-pointers earlier. Second free throw is also good. 8 points for Taylor Champion in the first half. Shot clock is running less than a second before the scoreboard. So in theory, Cal State East Bay can almost play for the last shot. As Pio misses. Now the shot clock has been turned off, and Cal State Dominguez Hills with a 35-22 lead can go for the last shot. Taylor Champion from long distance for 3.
Got to find the shooter against the zone. A huge shot by Champion to end the half.
And the buzzer sounds. And that's the end of the first half with the score. The California State University Dominguez Hills Toros 38 and the California State University East Bay Pioneers 22. You're watching the 2014 CCAA Conference Basketball Tournament live on Liquid Event TV.
Ladies and gentlemen.
So right now we'll watch the Cal State Dominguez Hills dance team, and then we'll have some interviews here at halftime here on Liquid Event TV.
that before, but unfortunately so far things are not working out in their favor, but I feel like halftime, having a break might have been the best thing for the East Bay team, as they, you can't stop hot shooters. There's nothing you can really do about that.
Oh, David Smock visiting with Scott Chisholm, the assistant sports information director at Cal State East Bay. And, of course, you have a few other teams going on right now, the baseball team, the softball team. So, talk a little bit about them.
Sure. Baseball is actually ranked nationally preseason. Unfortunately, we've had a lot of rainouts early on in Northern California, but the softball team's doing really well. They had they split with Sonoma at home. They're going to be at Monterey Bay this weekend. They're 6-10 this year, 5-7 in conference. So off to a pretty good start. The baseball team just defeated Menlo 9-4, so they've had some strong pitching early on, which is nice. And yeah, looking forward to the rest of the season. Again, I'm still learning the ins and outs of all the East Bay teams. And I would like to mention our men's basketball team under first-year head coach Gus Arginal. He's going to be great for the program. I know Sarah Judd, who's our athletic director and a former women's basketball coach herself, is, they're both UC Davis grads, so they got that going for them. But Gus is a great guy. I'm really excited to see where the program goes. A lot of energy, and he could do maybe what Susie's done with her program over the past 4 years.
Well, what's great about the CCA, we have 12 strong teams, and here at the basketball tournament, it's almost like the unofficial CCAA conference convention, because we see people we don't see at other times of the year. Other sports, you can have a baseball tournament, softball tournament, not the same turnout like you do here in basketball. And one of the nice things about the CCAA, you spend 2 or 3 months, whatever the season is, beating up on each other, and then you go to the NCAA playoffs and then play against teams maybe from weaker conferences, might be the wrong terminology, wrong term, but basically the fact that you can actually benefit from playing in the CCAA and then going on to the playoffs.
Susie mentioned that playing on the road in the CCAA is very difficult. Even San Bernardino, on the women's side in particular, playing at their place is a whole different ball game. I might be saying wrong, but the Costolias Arena or whatever, it's a huge venue, and I know the Pioneers were up big going into the second half, and San Bernardino was able to come back in that game and win, and they turned it on late in the season. So they might have been actually one of the hottest teams if they had qualified for this tournament. Nobody would have wanted to play them. I think the Pioneers were kind of in the same boat too. They'd won 4 in a row coming into tonight, but again, the Toros seem to have the answer for them. But we'll see what happens. I'm excited. It's been a great tournament so far on the men's and women's side so far.
Halftime at CBB Arena in Ontario, California. The Cal State Dominguez Hills Toros 38 and the Cal State East Bay Pioneers 22, visiting with Scott Chisholm, the assistant SID at Cal State East Bay. And it was one of those things that we've talked about, did so at the beginning of halftime. The earlier game tonight, with 30 seconds left in the first half, UC San Diego was leading Cal State LA 41-20. And I remember looking at Renee basically saying, oh, yeah, here we go, blowout time. Yeah, in the second half, Cal State LA on a 30-18 run ends up winning the game 60-59, getting the winning point after a 59-59 tie with 44 seconds to play. Under 10 seconds, 9.9. They get the free throw to make it a 60-59 win. And now Cal State LA, as the number 5 seed, they're going to get to play the number 1 seed Cal Poly Pomona Broncos tomorrow night. And it's kind of like out of the frying pan into the fire. You survive a game like that, you come back from 21 down, but now you get to play Cal Poly Pomona.
Well, you're kind of on a free roll at this point. Most people are probably counting them out, except everyone in that locker room and in that huddle. So, the important thing about basketball is all that matters is who has more points at the end of the game. You could lead for 39 minutes and 59 seconds, but if you have to score the final basket, that gives you the go-ahead points, and you win, you move on. And Cal State LA was the true testament to that. And maybe East Bay will take a page out of that book, because they did see most of the game. I'm sure they started getting ready when UC San Diego was leading big, and then they come back out and see that Cal State LA won. So they know it's doable. They saw it themselves in the earlier game today.
Well, those 5-4 matchups in terms of seeded teams, they'll always kind of pick them anyway, because it's not like a 6 versus a 3 or 7 versus 2 or something like that. But at the same time, I just have the impression, having seen both UC San Diego, I did not see Cal State LA this season, but having seen UC San Diego recently, the fact that I in my mind, I thought UC San Diego as the number 4 seed would probably win the game maybe by 8 or 10 points. And the way it turned out, great testament to Cal State LA and Janelle Jones and her team for what they did. But it was maybe, to me at least, a mild upset.
Yeah, I was surprised, when LaFontaine got her 4th foul with, I think, 17 and change left. I was thinking, she's obviously a big presence. She's a double-double machine, and I was thinking that could be the dagger, but Coach played her sparingly throughout, and then I think with a little over 8 minutes to go, she put her back in, and LaFontaine was able to stay in the game and not commit that 5th foul, and I think that played a big role, and kudos to them for hanging in there. You could definitely have that mindset where you just think the game's over and out of reach and it's not going to happen, but they were chipping away, and like you said, with a little under 10 seconds to go, they finally got that go-ahead point, and they were able to hold on for the win.
Our guest at halftime has been Scott Chisholm, the assistant SID at Cal State East Bay. Scott, thanks for the visit. Maybe have a chance to talk again tomorrow night. As we are at halftime, both teams back out onto the floor here at Citizens Business Bank Arena in Ontario. Cal State Dominguez Hills with the lead at the intermission, 38-22. The winner of this game tomorrow night at 8 o'clock will face the number 2 seed Chico State University Wildcats in the second women's semifinal. Our coverage tomorrow will start at 12 noon. Cal State LA will take on the number 1 seed Cal State San Bernardino Coyotes. Mark Serber from Fox Sports International will have the play-by-play. Ray Dietz, former Villanova University basketball player, will be the game analyst. At 2:30, it'll be Chico State against the number 2 seed Cal Poly Pomona Broncos in the second men's semifinal. And then in the women's bracket at 5:30 tomorrow, we'll have Cal State LA versus number 1 Cal Poly Pomona. 8 o'clock tomorrow night, the winner of this game against number 2 Chico State. So 4 games today, 4 more tomorrow. And then the championship games, the men's championship game at 5 o'clock on Saturday. Mark Serber from Fox Sports International have the play-by-play. And then the women's at 7:30. And we'll take a break here, 38-22 in favor of the Toros. David Smock from Television Sports America, Renee Jimenez, the women's basketball head coach at Cal State San Bernardino. Great to be with you on Liquid Event TV. As Rachel Finnegan will inbound the basketball for Cal State East Bay to start the second half, directly in front of our Liquid Event TV courtside broadcast location. We'll run down some of the stats in the first half. We talked about Cal State East Bay. For Cal State Dominguez Hills, Taylor Champion with 11 points, Brianne Garcia with 10, 7 points by Amber Wharton, and 6 by Talia Rayford. The Toros 12 of 29, 41%, 7 of 16 beyond the arc, 44%, 7 of 10 at the free throw line, 70%. As the first basket of the game is scored by Stephanie Lopez.
Big basket by Lopez, seeing that she has a mismatch on Garcia and taking great advantage of that.
And for Lopez, that's only her first point of the night, or first field goal of the night, I should say. Taylor Champion with the rebound. Toros going from right to left here in the second half.
Different energy already by East Bay coming out. Coach Barkham had some really great things to say to them, and they're definitely a different team in the first minute of this game.
And a loose ball picked up by Micah Walker, 38-24, 14-point lead. Rebounds in the first half. Cal State Dominguez Hills 22, Cal State East Bay 12. Leading rebounder was Tori Brashears with 5 for the Pioneers. Leading rebounder for Cal State Dominguez Hills was Taylor Champion with 6. 8 assists, only 5 turnovers by the Toros in the first half. Score was tied once. Lead changed 4 times in the first half. Champion intercepting the ball, but gets away from Champion. And it's going to be picked up instead by Brashears, but Brashears can't hold on to it. Amber Wharton had it as Wharton collided with Brashears, and the ball bounced to Garcia. The largest lead in the first half, Cal State East Bay led by 6 points at the 12:39 mark. Cal State Dominguez Hills leading by 16 points at halftime. In the paint, Pioneers an advantage of 12-4. Offensive turnovers, 8 by the Toros, 5 by the Pioneers. Second chance points, huge difference here. Second chance points, 10 for Cal State Dominguez Hills to 0 for Cal State East Bay. And off the bench, Cal State East Bay with 8 points and Cal State Dominguez Hills with 6.
Yeah, Dominguez is just, they're just beasts on the boards. They defend really well. What a big turnaround right there by Terrence taking the charge, getting some defensive momentum for East Bay, giving them another opportunity on the offensive end.
Rayford gets called for a third personal foul, so then we have to start worrying about players in foul trouble, at least at halftime. Micah Walker with 3 and Danielle Pecan with 3 apiece for Cal State East Bay. And in terms of personal fouls, nobody with more than 2 until now. And a 3-second violation called against Cal State East Bay. So the Toros will have the basketball, and they hold on to the 14-point lead, 38-24, with 17:42 to go.
East Bay was just trying to get into their offense there, and I think Brushers didn't realize she was hanging out in the paint. They're definitely, this is an NBA court also, so there's a lot of lines on this court that these guys aren't used to.
Champion from downtown, no, and it's going to be rebounded by Brashears.
Gotta love Champion's confidence. She thinks every shot's going in.
And with her success this season, most of the time they do. As Champion coming in tonight's game, averaging 13 points per game. It'd be worth noting, who is the leading rebounder? Well, that would be Taylor Champion. Well, check that. Talia Rayford leads the Toros with 8 rebounds per game.
Speaking of Rayford, that was a nice little drive to the rim.
So Talia Rayford, top rebounder for Cal State East Bay appears to be Danielle Pecan with more than 6 per game. And ball on the follow-up shot by Walker doesn't go.
East Bay is taking a page out of Dominguez's book, and they're all over the boards right now. They have to be leading the boards by 3 or 4 in the first few minutes of this ball game.
So 40-24, still the same 16-point margin that the Toros led over the Pioneers at halftime. Micah Walker at the free throw line. She makes the first one. Pecan back into the game for the Pioneers. Amber Wharton back into the game for Cal State Dominguez Hills. Walker misses the second one. So she is 1 of 3 at the free throw line in the ball game tonight. Michael Walker now, after those 3 throws, with 6 points in the ball game. 40-25 in favor of Cal State Dominguez Hills over Cal State East Bay. 16:09 to play. Wharton with the basketball. 5 on the shot clock. Feeds in to Monet Lee. Monet Lee's shot comes off the rim. Monet Lee, all CCAA first team selection as announced last night. Same for Brianna Terrence of Cal State East Bay, the first such honor for a Cal State East Bay player, man or woman, in the athletics program history. Lee at the free throw line, and Lee will make the first one.
Scariest thing about Lee and Terrence is they're both very young, going to be great players. Lee's a handful inside. Once she really develops that outside perimeter shot, she's going to be really tough for all of us to guard.
And now 5 points in the ball game for Monet Lee. And, you know, Lee's the leading scorer for the Toros, averaging almost 15 points a game. So the fact that she's been held to 5, testament to the good defense of Cal State East Bay. But the Toros still have the lead by 17 points, 42-25, with 15:51 to play.
I like East Bay's energy right now. They definitely, you would not know that they are down right now. They're playing hard. They're taking the ball to the basket. They have Dominguez definitely on their heels.
And there's a timeout on the floor with 15:51 to play in the ball game with the score. Cal State Dominguez Hills 42, Cal State East Bay 25. You're watching the 2014 CCAA Conference Basketball Tournament live on Liquid Event TV as the Cal State Dominguez Hills cheerleaders are entertaining the fans. Well, some good energy here in the second half by Cal State East Bay, but they actually find themselves now trailing by the most points in the ball game, 42-25, a 17-point differential between the Toros and the Pioneers. And Renee, as a coach, you're Susie Barkham. What do you tell the Pioneers?
I think I'm just telling them to stick with the game plan. I think they're doing the right thing on the offensive end. They're putting the ball on the floor. They're being aggressive. You know, I liked how aggressive they were on the defensive end. They're not just sitting back in their zone. They're trying to get in passing lanes a little bit. So I think you have to take it, you know, 2, 3, 5 minutes at a time and really break up the game for them and let them know they're okay and there's still a lot of ball game left.
And if you are a Cal State Dominguez Hills, Molly Goodenbauer, what do you tell the Toros?
I'm really telling them control the boards and we'll control the game. And that's Pecan's fourth, and that is really going to hurt East Bay right now with sending her to the bench. But yeah, if I'm Coach Goodenbauer, I'm just telling them take care of the ball, stay all over the boards. As long as we control the boards, we're going to control this ball game.
Pecan called for the foul, a delay of game warning issued to Cal State East Bay. It didn't look like a delay. I didn't see any particular reason why they called that, but they did. Officials always have a better view than sportscasters do. I love our broadcast location, though. We're at mid-court. Usually during the regular season, I'm near the
for this. This
team
is awesome.
bench.
I think Pecan's going to have to be really careful here. Looks like Coach Barkham's going to keep her in the game with her fourth foul.
Wharton coming back. I didn't see the Cal State Dominguez Hills last field goal that the Toros scored, but they have a 44-25 point lead, 19 points. That's the biggest of the ball game. And now the Pioneers come up with the basketball. Pecan, no, off the rim, and the loose ball rebound is picked up by Taylor Champion, who gives it to Amber Wharton.
Yeah, East Bay's going to start they're not going to get too many better shots than that. Dominguez is really putting a lot of pressure on him, but that's a great shot by Pecan. She's just got to finish around the bucket.
Walker and Pecan still with 3 personal fouls, 3 against Monet Lee. So it's something to watch down the stretch here.
Yeah.
Last 14 and a half minutes of the ball game. Cal State Dominguez Hills 44. And Cal State East Bay 25. 2 on the shot clock, 1 on the shot clock. And the loose ball is picked up by Micah Walker.
Yeah, both these teams aren't relatively deep, so it's important that they both stay out of foul trouble.
And going to the basket and scoring is Stephanie Lopez.
Lopez is a great player, extremely crafty around the bucket. Very deceiving with her size and speed.
4 points in the ball game now for her. And it's a 44-27 lead, 13:54 to play. And it's going to be a point pretty soon where the scoreboard will not be a friend of Cal State East Bay.
I think that's 5 on Pecan. Looks like Coach Barkham was trying to get her out of the game.
Indeed. So it's worth mentioning, and we'll make a note of it, at the 13:47 mark, Pecan fouls out of the ball game.
That is tough.
Team has 30 seconds to substitute. Pecan leaves, based on our last update here, only 2 points in the ball game.
Yeah, I think maybe it was just a little bit too late. You know, she had Terrence there ready to sub her in. But that's a tough one. Tough one for East Bay. They're really going to have to work tonight.
Pecan averaging almost 13 points per game coming into this contest, 12.8 to be exact. 2 free throws good by Amber Wharton. And for Wharton, that gives her 9 points in the ball game. And it's a 45 to 27 point ball game. 18-point lead for the Toros over the East Bay Pioneers. Winner of this game will take on the Chico State Wildcats, the number 2 seed tomorrow night. That game at 8 o'clock. We'll have it for you live here on Liquid Event TV. In fact, all 4 games of the men's and women's conference tournament semifinals will be televised live. Mark Serber and
it's a nice strong move by Terrence getting to the bucket. That's what they need to do, get to the rim, stop the clock, slow the game down, and get some stops on the defensive end. East Bay's really going to have to win, rebound by committee, not having Pecan in the game. That's going to be tough for them.
At the free throw line, missing the first shot is Tori Brashears out of Narbonne High School in Harbor City. So Mark Serber from Fox Sports International, and Ray Dietz, former player at Villanova University. They'll have the men's semifinals, and then I'll have the play-by-play of the women's semifinal, actually both semifinals tomorrow night. It'll be Cal State LA versus number 1 Cal Poly Pomona, and then the winner of this game against the number 2 seed Chico State Wildcats. Shot from the near side by Rayford doesn't go. And coming up with the rebound, Micah Walker for Cal State East Bay.
Hopefully he's going to look to push the tempo a little bit here and try to get some quick buckets. Maybe some fouls, get in the bonus to the free throw line.
Toros leading the Pioneers 45 to 28. And with 12:43 to play, and there's still a lot of time, but I just get the feeling that pretty soon, East Bay needs to try to find a way to get some more defensive stops against the Toros and to get some more offense going to try to close that gap.
Yeah, it makes it tough. Dominguez puts the ball on the floor really well, so you don't want to get too extended in your zone. But you are going to have to get in some passing lanes and get some tips and easy buckets from your D.
The ball's inbounded to Walker, and
nice
Walker
play
scores
by Coach
easily.
Barkham. Good call.
So that should be 8 points for Walker. We'll double check that.
Ooh, Garcia is on fire tonight. She's playing very, very hard on both ends of the floor. She's been a handful for East Bay to try to figure out.
She's only a sophomore. I have a feeling by the time she's a senior, she will be an all-CCA first-team selection.
That's scary. That's scary. No, she's going to be a great player. I think once she gets more under control, learns to stay out of foul trouble a little bit, Garcia's going to be one of the better guards in the conference.
So for Garcia, and she also gets to the bucket as well.
Nice quick move by Terrence there. That's what they need. Try to get in the bonus, stop the game, slow it down, make free throws.
Brianna Garcia with 13 points in the game so far, 12:22 to play. Cal State Dominguez Hills 48 and Cal State East Bay 30. It's a Friday. Call in sick. Join us here at CBB Arena. I almost wanted to say CBBB, but anyway, CBB Arena here in Ontario. We start at 12 noon tomorrow. 1 ticket, 4 games.
East Bay's in the bonus now. This is what they want. Every foul, they get to stop the clock. Try to get some free points.
Brashears misses the first one as it rattled in and out.
Violation.
But beyond that, though, that kind of shot 9 times out of 10 will fall in.
Yeah, exactly.
Rattled out for Brashears. So with 12:21 to play and the clock running down to 12:17, Cal State Dominguez Hills 48, Cal State East Bay 30. East Bay realizes that the time is ticking away as Garcia kicks it out to Lee. Lee drives along the baseline, and Lee collides, falls down to the floor, and the East Bay player finally gets up under her own power. That appears to be Brianna Terrence.
Lee's not a fun kid to take a charge on. She is very strong. She goes to the bucket really hard, so you got to give Terrence credit for stepping over and taking that.
Monet Lee, all CCA first team selection, 5'7" sophomore guard from Huntington Beach. Lee out of Edison High School in Orange County, so not too far from her hometown here in Ontario, probably maybe 30, 45 miles, depending on traffic. Speaking of traffic, we left out today on Interstate 10.
Sounds like it. Took people quite a few hours to get out here.
Yeah, but it was flowing. There's no accidents, and no time to come to a complete stop.
Right.
Might get down to 25, 30 miles an hour, but we kept moving, which was a good thing.
Yeah.
If you take away the part where I got lost getting to the hotel and again lost to the arena, the trip itself was not long. So Monet Lee gets that one, and now a 20-point lead at the 12-minute mark at 50-30.
Nice. Again, East Bay trying to get to the bucket, get some early shots, stop the clock, get to the free throw line. Just got to get some stops on the defensive end.
So biggest lead of the night for the Cal State Dominguez Seals Toros, 50 to Cal State East Bay's 30 with 11:54 remaining. Amber Wharton called for her second personal foul.
Well, the Cal State Dominguez Hills cheerleaders are tossing up.
So the Cal State Dominguez Hills cheerleaders are throwing some T-shirts into the crowd. It's the only time where fans mug each other over a T-shirt.
That's a good thing. That's okay.
I happened to be calling a game in the stands earlier this year and actually snagged one of the little Cal State Dominguez Hills basketballs.
There you go.
All those little prized possessions that you acquire throughout the season. Speaking of the season, not only will the CCA basketball tournament being played this weekend, the NCAA West Regionals next weekend, and it's possible, we'll find out on Selection Sunday, but it's possible that Cal State San Bernardino and Cal Poly Pomona rather, and Cal State San Bernardino could each host the West Regional, the men's West Regional, possibly could be a Casulas Arena in San Bernardino, and Cal Poly Pomona could be hosting the women's West Regional at Kellogg Gymnasium in Pomona.
That'd be great for the CCA if we can have both the men's and women's tournaments out here right down the road from each other.
And also, too, baseball and softball is underway. And if you get a chance, just go to find out a game in your area. You can go to the conference website at goccaa.org. That's goccaa.org. And come out and take in a game this season. It's a lot of fun, a lot of great student-athlete players. At the free throw line is Stephanie Lopez. Lopez makes the second one. So for Lopez, that's her first 2 free throws of the night. She makes 1 out of 2.
East Bay's struggling. Terrence is their leading scorer, and she's 0 for 1 tonight. She's having a hard time finding the rim, and when Dominguez is able to take their leading scorer out of the picture, that's going to make it really tough for the Pioneers to try to come back and win this game.
We've talked about how Brianne Garcia at 5'2" is the shortest player on either ball club. Well, guess what? Brianne Garcia is leading both teams in scoring with 15 points.
Yep.
She has 15 points and 3 rebounds. It still remains, the one free throw makes it 50-31, still a 19-point lead for the Toros with 11:29 to play in the game. And Talia Rayford.
Great job by Rayford recognizing the shot clock, getting to the rim, and finishing.
Rayford now with 10 points in the ball game. She becomes the 3rd Toro in double figures. Three-point shot, good by Brianna Terrence.
That's what they need. Terrence really needs to step up and be the player that she is and knock down some big shots.
Those are Terrence's first points of the ball game.
Yeah.
All CCA first team selection. Oh, beautiful play underneath the basket and the score by Monet Lee. You can't draw up that X and O.
Nice play
better
by
than
the
that.
Toro.
And it's 54-34, back to a 20-point lead for Dominguez Hills with 10.5 minutes remaining in the game. Missed shot, rebound by Rayford.
Dominguez is really trying to push the ball they know they're recognizing the clock, recognizing they have the lead. They're going to pull it out and just run their stuff, take good shots.
Shot by Champion, rebounded by Estremera. And shot in and out on the attempt by Micah Walker. And we've reached midway through the second half, the 10-minute mark, and actually just below that now at 9:52. So we hit the 10-minute mark when Walker tried that shot. And with under 10 minutes to play, Cal State Dominguez Seals 54, Cal State East Bay 34.
Same play they got him on.
Backdoor play to Talia Rayford. And it's 56-34, 22-point lead, biggest of the ball game. So the Toros just trying to lengthen that lead out a little bit more down the stretch, Renee.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, they're really running away from it now. East Bay can't, they're having a tough time. They can't buy a basket.
Well, they do get one there on the shot by Torrey Brashears. Timeout on the floor, 9:15 left in the second half with the score. The Cal State Dominguez Seals Toros 56 and the California State University East Bay Pioneers 36. You're watching the 2014 CCAA Conference Basketball Tournament live on Liquid Event TV. And once again, the cheerleaders coming out on to the floor here, entertaining the fans. I'm David Smock with Television Sports America, and alongside Renee Jimenez, the head women's basketball coach at Cal State San Bernardino. And I just want to take a moment, Renee, to thank you for coming out here tonight. You have never done a broadcast before.
No, and it's harder than I thought.
And now you've done 2 of them.
Uh-oh.
So you're a veteran. And unfortunately, I know you're going to be going out on the recruiting trail this weekend, and most likely we won't have a chance to work next year because your team will probably be in the tournament.
I hope we don't get to work together next year. If we're working together next year, we got a problem. So, yeah, hopefully we are. Our San Bernardino team is back in this thing. You know, it's a great experience, and you want to bring your kids here. You want to have a chance to get into the NCAA tournament, and you know, it's sad. You know, we've been here the last, I think, 4 years with our team up in Monterey, and you want your young kids to experience this. So it's really neat to see East Bay and Dominguez out here, teams that have Coach Barkham and Coach Gunbauer really took over some struggling programs. And you knew it was just a matter of time, so it's great. You know, congratulations to them for getting their teams back to the tournament and having a shot to get into the NCAA tournament.
Now, when you're trying to recruit a player, and we'll just as an example, Acme University, the Fighting Widgets, and you're trying to recruit a player. How do you find that player? Are there scouting services? You go out to high school games? How do you
I
find
think
out
we're
about
pretty,
players?
You know, we're pretty familiar with the, especially with the junior college circuit. That's a big recruiting area for us. Myself and all my assistants played at that level. You know, so we're really familiar with the coaches. We have great relationships with them. A lot of it's keeping your ear to the ground. You really spend the whole month of July out on the road watching tournaments. You know, and every now and then you get that diamond in the rough that happens to just shoot you an email when you wake up at 7 a.m. and you're checking your email and someone wants to transfer back, like a Pacone or a Jada Blackwell. So sometimes it's just luck too.
Well, I think players kind of coach in areas that are familiar to them.
Mm-hmm.
Susie Barkham, coach at University of Puget Sound in Tacoma, Washington. Hard for me to say because they're rivals of my alma mater, PLU, in Tacoma. But anyway, she has players from the Seattle-Tacoma area. I know you're from the Ventura area.
Correct, yeah.
And you have players also in the past from that area.
We do. We've made a living off of some kids from the Ventura County area. Now we're trying to put a fence up around the Inland Empire, so that's kind of been our goal. You know, but we're still out in that area. It's nice because since we're familiar with a lot of the coaches and stuff, and I think everyone kind of recruits what their niche is. A lot of times it comes down to, you know, who the kid feels most comfortable with, whether it's the school, the players on your team. A lot of times your players are your best recruiters, and so that's always been a big positive for us.
7:49 to play, timeout. Dominguez Seals leading Cal State East Bay 56-40. I know you can't talk about players because of NCAA rules, but looking at what you know so far about the JC players this year, especially sophomores, and the high school players in Southern California, is this a strong recruiting year, maybe a little weaker than normal?
Yeah,
or?
you know, the high school level is definitely, there's not as many Division II prospects out there right now. So a lot of us in this CCA are going after the same junior college kids. You know, Ventura College is #1 in the state right now. Their starting 5 could be in this tournament and probably win it. So there's a lot of talent out there right now, and unfortunately, you know, we're clawing over each other to try to get these kids. So it's always fun, and you know, it's nice when you recruit these kids, and you wish them well when they say no and they break your heart, and you just keep going and trying to find the other kid.
So the prep level may be a little bit down this year, but the JC level is higher than normal.
I would say so.
Well, we'll find out next season.
We will.
Who plays for whom?
Yep.
Meanwhile, in this game, Cal State Dominguez Hills continues to lead Cal State East Bay 56-40 with 7.5 minutes to go. Amber Wharton with the basketball. 7 on the shot clock. Getting it out to Rayford. Rayford's had a strong game tonight. Ball comes off the rim on the missed shot. Rebounded by Micah Walker. We'll give you some updates as we're added a new stat sheet.
That's going to be Walker's 5th. That's going to be a tough one for them, too.
Tora Brashears with 8 points in the ball game, along with Micah Walker, who comes out. Brianna Terrence with 7 points this evening, 6 by Estra Mera. For Cal State Dominguez Hills, 4 players in double figures. Brianne Garcia with 15 points, 12 by Talia Rayford, 11 points by Taylor Champion, and 10 points by Monet Lee. So a very balanced attack, and anytime you get 3 or 4 players in double figures, chances are you're going to win the ball game.
Yeah, this is a really high-scoring game, especially for Dominguez. You know, they're 56 points with 7.5 to go, with, you know, 4 kids in double figures. That's what you want at this time of the year. You want everybody kind of feeling good about themselves, going into the next game confident. You know, Garcia having a great night tonight, shooting the ball well. You know, Chico's definitely going to have their hands full if it ends up being like that tomorrow.
Well, both teams, Cal State LA and presumably Cal State Dominguez Hills, will have about 24 hours before they play again. Toro is playing in the 8 o'clock game tonight. Will play in the 8 o'clock game tomorrow night. They hold on to this 58-40 lead as Tori Brashears at the free throw line misses the first free throw, and she misses both of them. And that's another thing that, you know, not can they not buy a field goal, but they can't get a free throw either.
Yeah, they definitely can. East Bay really is struggling tonight to shoot the ball well, you know, and then they're in foul trouble with Pacone, in foul trouble with Walker, especially the first half. Having those guys on the bench made it really tough.
8 on the shot clock for the Toros. Champion in the far corner, right in front of the Cal State Dominguez Hills bench. Warden Garcia drives along the baseline, and she's going to be charged for traveling.
Good call.
So 6:47 to go in the ball game. Cal State Dominguez Hills 58, Cal State East Bay 41.
East Bay's going to have to get up and start pressuring here and try to get some quick turnovers or maybe even a quick bucket right here offensively.
Well, the Toros need to do well in the tournament. They're number 7 in the most recent NCAA West Regional poll, and only the top 8 go next weekend.
Here we go. Now we see East Bay with their full court pressure. Going to try and make Dominguez either turn the ball over, get a tip on it to an easy bucket.
Again, in 10 seconds to break that midcourt line. The Toros do so. Amber Wharton with the basketball.
Smart by Coach Goodenbauer to pull it out, use the shot clock, get a good shot.
Wharton, off balance shot, actually grabbed out of the air by Stephanie Lopez. Wharton, who's played well tonight, a 5'9" junior forward out of Murrieta Valley. In fact, to be more exact, Wharton from Murrieta Valley High School and a transfer from Irvine Valley College in South Orange County. Lopez with the basketball for the Pioneers. 6 minutes to go in the ball game. The Pioneers down by 15. If they're going to make a move, they need to do so now. No basket. Susie Barkham not happy with the call. Tried to plead her case.
We all do.
I'm not going to put you on the spot here, so this is kind of a hypothetical situation.
All right.
But if you're a coach and you're trying to protest a call, do you sometimes get a reversal from an official, or official starts thinking about it?
Never. It never works. You should just say good call even when you don't think it is. Then the next one will be okay. But rarely, I've never seen it. I mean,
is it part theater then, or are you just trying to stand up for your team?
I think we're all just really emotional. That's why we have great assistants to kind of keep us in check. we know what the right call is. I mean, every now and then you have some that don't go your way that we all think could be wrong, but for the most part, the CCA officials are very good. 8 times out of 10, they're on the dot.
Toros continue to lead by 15 points, 58-43. So Cal State East Bay can still be within striking distance, but with 5:45 to play, they need to start getting some points on the board to make it closer. We saw Cal State LA do that tonight against UC San Diego. Garcia with the basketball, 9 on the shot clock.
It's a big stop here for East Bay if they can get it.
And off-balance shot, air ball. Yep, they got it right there as the rebound is handled by Estremera for the Pioneers. Three-point basket by Brianna Terrence. Hello.
Here we go.
I'm getting too old for these close games.
This might be when you like to have Pecan in the game or even Michael Walker, but these guys that are come off the bench to play, they're doing a great job. East Bay's really stepped up their defense. I think the press has really helped them a lot. And now they need their players Terrence to step up and make some big shots like that.
It's a type of situation, whether it be personal fouls tonight, which is affecting Cal State East Bay, or injuries. The idea is your other players have to step up. Your bench becomes so important.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why depth is so important, especially in this conference when you're playing back-to-back. You have to have great depth to win these games, especially in March.
5:20 to play. Dominguez Hills 58, East Bay 46. The lead was 22. The Toros lead now is only 12. Lee in the backcourt. Gets the ball to Garcia and knocked away. And
nice play by Terrence.
Yeah, going up about a couple of steps into the front row. Unfortunately not hurting herself. That would kind of be a dangerous play. It was Brianna Terrence. McCorkle will inbound. Gets the ball into Wharton. Shot clock down to 15 seconds. 5 minutes to play in the game. Champion for 3, and
big
she
shot
gets it.
by Champion.
A huge basket by Champion.
Those are the ones that really break your back as a coach. Is when you lose the shooter, on the court, and they hit a big shot.
At least 14 points in the game tonight for Taylor Champion of Cal State Dominguez Hills. 61-46, 15-point game. 3-point shot is good. A little bit of emotion there by Estremera.
It's her 3rd tonight. She's been clutch for them.
Yeah, 9 points in the ball game. If she's adding in other points at the free throw line. Nope. So yeah, you're right. That's 9 for her. All from 3-point shots beyond the arc. And now the ball knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Talia Rayford of Cal State Dominguez Hills. So the Pioneers down by 12 will have the basketball. 4 minutes, 17 seconds remaining in regulation. We thought the first game tonight was going to go overtime. Is it possible that this one will? Well, right now Cal State East Bay needs to make up 12 points. They're starting to make a run at Cal State Dominguez Hills. And driving towards the basketball, that one didn't go. Rebound, reset on the 30-second shot clock for the Pioneers, and a very good job by Rachel Finnegan, the 5'8" senior guard out of Turlock. Yeah, Finnegan transfer to Cal State East Bay from San Jose State University of the Division I Big West Conference, or is it Big Sky Conference these days, San Jose State?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
WAC?
Maybe. They've had so many changes.
They have had a lot of turnover.
I just found out University of Pacific went to the Big West Conference a few weeks ago, and that was last year that took effect.
Last year.
It's like, when did Pacific change?
There's a lot of shifting going on
Actually,
right now.
they went from the Big West to the West Coast Conference, I
Correct,
should say.
Yeah.
Watching those West Coast Conference games on the Time Warner Cable Sportsnet. I still remember, I'm old enough, I'm probably dating myself here, the old WCAC Game of the Week on Channel 13, KCOP here in Los Angeles with Monty Moore and Pete Paletta.
Yeah, definitely don't know.
That was back in the day. Loyola Marymount used to play at the Veterans Memorial Auditorium in Culver City, which is half stage and half basketball court. So the officials would be on top of the stage, and then on one side where the cameras would be for television would be the fans.
That's interesting. They do that at Radio City Music Hall now. I think they do some games up on the, they did the WNBA All-Star game there a few years ago.
Yeah, very, very much the same scenario.
That's great.
I've been there in past years for amateur bodybuilding contests. I won't explain why, but anyway.
Okay, interesting.
I've been a long-time judge for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, basically you still see the basketball lines.
Yeah, yeah, that's great.
Yeah, for a lot of years, I had 6 months of broadcasting and 6 months of judging bodybuilding shows.
Fun fact.
For 20 years, yes.
East Bay's going to stay in their zone here.
61-49, Toros leading the Pioneers by 12 points. 3:45 to play.
Dominguez just needs to take care of the ball, get a good shot.
15 on the shot clock. Wharton right in front of the Cal State Dominguez Hills bench. Wharton gets it from Rayford. Down to Garcia, top of the key, over to Wharton again. 7 to shoot. Wharton kicks it out to Taylor Champion, and Champion for 3.
That's the third time that East Bay has left Champion wide open on the perimeter late in the shot clock, and she is making them pay today.
Unofficially for Champion, that's her fifth three-point shot. And Champion in the ball game now with 17 points. And I think she's going to end up being the top scorer in the ball game. Terrence has 10 points for Cal State East Bay. Tori Brashears with 9. Micah Walker, who's fouled out, with 8. Charissa Estremera, who's in there, also with 9 points. And Champion with 17. Brianne Garcia with 15. Talia Rayford with 12. And Brianne Garcia with 10. So at the free throw line is Tori Brashears, makes the first free throw. And she will miss the second one, and Rayford with the rebound for Cal State Dominguez Hills. 3:09 to go. 14-point lead for the Toros, 64-50 over the Pioneers.
East Bay's going to really need to get up and try to pressure the ball here and make Dominguez turn it over.
Cal State Dominguez Hills, a young team. Senior night last week took about 0.5 of a second because there are no seniors.
Oh, wow.
Did recognize the players from UC San Diego. So this is going to be a very veteran team, and getting that experience in the playoffs regardless of how far they go.
That's scary.
You know, that you look at the Cal State East Bay lineup, they're young.
Yeah.
Your ball club at Cal State
Yep.
San Bernardino's young.
Yep. We'll have a lot of new faces next year, as will I think some of these teams.
Again, the CCAA, it's kind of like, big brother, little brother kind of beating each other up, and as adults, they're best friends. And that's kind of like the CCAA here beating each other up, and then face teams from other conferences as the Toros give the ball to Wharton, and Wharton with the layup, 66-50, 16-point lead.
Good patience by Wharton there. Kind of got stuck, gave it off to McCorkle, and then came off for the hand up for the layup.
Now, if you're Cal State East Bay, Renee, do you start shooting as many threes as possible and hope to make some?
Yeah, I think you got to either try to get easy buckets like that or really get up and try to pressure. I think they're sitting in that zone, really letting Dominguez take too much time off the shot clock.
Brashears now with 11 points in the ball game. Timeout on the floor, 2:03 left in regulation with the score. Cal State Dominguez Hills 66 and Cal State East Bay 52. David Smock from Television Sports America and Renee Jimenez, the Cal State San Bernardino women's basketball head coach. Great to be with you tonight on Liquid Event TV, and of course we'll be back here tomorrow starting at 12 noon. And Renee, it's been a pleasure tonight. It's been
Thanks for having me. This is great.
Absolute blast.
Me too. I really hope I don't get to work with you next year, though. No offense.
Well, maybe at halftime of another game.
All right, fair enough, fair enough. We can do that.
66-52, Toros up by 14 points, and barring a complete defensive-offensive collapse, it looks like the Toros will have a good chance of advancing. Of course, it's not over yet, but if the Toros win, they'll face the number 2 seed Chico State Wildcats tomorrow night. And a rebound on the missed shot brought down by Tori Brashears. And a shot good by Stephanie Lopez. Lopez, we have 9 points in the game. And Talia Rayford fouls out of the ball game. Doesn't matter. Rayford leaves with 12 points and 7 rebounds. So her work is done for the night.
It's a great game for her tonight.
Free throw is good by Lopez. And so Lopez with the 3-point play has 10 points in the ball game.
Tough foul right there for East Bay. You can tell by the look on Coach Barkham's face that she did not want that foul. They had almost a tip on the ball.
Brianna Terrence, Tori Brashears, and Stephanie Lopez all with 10 points for the Pioneers. Charissa Estremera with 9 points. Michael Walker with 8. So those are basically your top shooters. Monet Lee at the free throw line. Lee, 4 of 5, make it 5 of 6 at the free throw line.
1 shot remaining.
Lee already in double figures with 10, an opportunity to go to 12. Go along with 4 rebounds. And she makes that one. So with 1:19 to play, Cal State Dominguez Hill 68, Cal State East Bay 55. Toros leading the Pioneers by 13 points. And Cal State East Bay will inbound in their own backcourt. Rachel Finnegan trying to feed the ball into Stephanie Lopez. Lopez goes to the basket and scores, but it will not count. Traveling called against Stephanie Lopez.
That was actually the right call. I know East Bay's upset, but nice move by Lopez, but her feet got ahead of her a little bit.
And Garcia is fouled by Finnegan.
Rachel Finnegan, her first.
Well, on liquidevent.tv, we don't have a player of the game, but boy, I tell you, if we did, I think a nomination would have to definitely go for Brianne Garcia. 15 points tonight, 3 rebounds, 5'2", the shortest player on either roster. She makes that one.
She definitely likes Citizens Bank Arena here.
Simone Thompson.
Now 16 points. Simone Thompson is coming into the game for the Toros. 5'6" sophomore guard from Gardena. Second one is good, 17 points. Leading scorer by Brianne Garcia. They call her Breezy, that's her nickname. Now from long distance, that one almost went on the long shot by Brianna Terrence. The follow-up does go. And Stephanie Lopez will get the credit for that. So Lopez now with 12 in the ball game. Under a minute to play, 70-57. Toros leading by 13 points. A long 3-point shot didn't go, but the follow-up did. Stephanie Lopez with the putback after the long shot that missed by Brianna Terrence. Shot clock running about 10 seconds ahead of the scoreboard. 20 seconds on the clock, 30 seconds on the scoreboard. Cal State Dominguez Hills, 11-point lead, will win this ball game.
It's a great game by both teams. East Bay did a nice job coming back. That foul trouble really hurt them towards the end of the game.
But still, Lopez, shot missed, put back by Brashears also doesn't go.
Battles on number 3, Taylor Champion, her third personal.
Taylor Champion.
Shooting 2, Tori
Brashears.
with 11.7 seconds remaining. Making the
16-point lead at halftime. The Toros leading by 11, so it tells you that Cal State East Bay has outscored the Toros here by about 5 points. Off the miss and the basket by Terrence, so that's at least 12 for her.
East Bay, this is impressive. You know, they're still fighting. 6.9 seconds. They're on the floor for a loose ball. Finnegan was great, picked it up, got the foul, stepped to the free throw line here.
70-62. Rachel Finnegan makes the first one. That would give her at least 5 points in the ball game. And the second free throw is good, so Rachel Finnegan with 6 points in the ball game. 70-64. So that 16-point lead at halftime that the Toros enjoyed 38-22 is down to 70 to 64.
See the Dominguez players are huddling, trying to tell each other, settle down. Game should be over. Just got to take care of the ball, handle the pressure.
And Brianne Garcia, I think the first order of business if I'm Molly Goodenbauer is lights out at 11 o'clock.
Well, I think they're young, you know, and I think they're showing their youth right now. You know, and East Bay has a little bit more post-game experience as of right now.
18 points for Brianne Garcia tonight. Air ball put up by Gooden. Buzzer sounds. And that's the end of the ball game with the score. The California State University Dominguez Hills Toros 71 and the California State East Bay Pioneers 64. So the number 3 seed in Cal State Dominguez Hills, they will advance as the number 16 is eliminated, the Cal State East Bay Pioneers. So right now we have the 1, 2, 3, and 5 seeds will be your 4 semifinalists. And in the semifinals tomorrow night at 5:30, it will be Cal State Los Angeles versus the number 1 seed Cal Poly Pomona. And then at the 8 o'clock game tomorrow night, and this is also almost a pick-em game, the number 3 seed Cal State Dominguez Hills Toros against the number 2 seed Chico State Wildcats. So a 2 and a 3, that could go either way.
Yeah, these games tomorrow night, you're in for a few good games tomorrow. I think LA and Pomona is a great matchup, and also this Chico Dominguez game is going to be fantastic. As long as Dominguez can, you know, go to bed, like you said, go to bed early, get them some food, and then see what kind of energy they have tomorrow night.
And just looking ahead to tomorrow night's game between Cal State Dominguez Hills and Chico State. Chico State won in Chico 80 to 78, and at the Toro Dome in Carson, Chico State winning that ball game 54-51. So you have 2 big games there decided by a total of 5 points.
Yeah, these are going to be battles, you know, and for everyone besides maybe Chico and Pomona, for Dominguez and Cal State LA, they need to win this tournament to get into regionals. So, you know, you're fighting. It's March. Anything can happen in March.
Our next live broadcast will start at 12 noon tomorrow with the men's semifinals. And again, that men's semifinal game at 12 o'clock will be Cal State LA versus the number 1 seed. Check that. It might be Cal State Stanislaus. Anyway, the number 1 seed Cal State San Bernardino Coyotes. And then at 2:30, that we do know will be Chico State versus the number 2 seed Cal Poly Pomona, and then the women's bracket semifinals at 5:30 and 8 o'clock. Renee, again, thank you very much. Pleasure working with you.
You too. Thank you for having me.
And now for Renee Jimenez and our entire Liquid Event TV crew, David Smock saying so long from CBB Arena in Ontario, California. Once again, tonight's final score, the Cal State Dominguez Hills Toros 71 and the Cal State East Bay Pioneers 64. Thank you for watching. Good night, everyone. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 12 noon. Until then, across America and around the world, now and forever, this is Liquid Event TV. Live. Good night, everybody.